Joined by Mr. Ravi Jhunjunwala, Chairman and MD of HEG. Mr. Jhunjunwala, good having you. Thanks so much for joining in. I presume you've heard this piece that came in on the Bloomberg wires. How do you read into this? How likely, and what can you give us some idea about how much is the current anti-dumping and anti-subsidy duty?
You see, these duties were imposed on HEG sometime in end of 2004, and these normally these are put for 5 years. But then there is a term which entitles them to extend it for another 5 years and another 5 years. So it's been going along like this for last about 15, 16, 17 years now. And obviously we have been resisting this for the last 2 or 3 revisions in every 5 years. But somehow they have been extending it for 5 years more. So we requested them last year on the basis of a sudden change in the market situation when the international prices went up by 6, 7, 8 times. And we gave them enough data to show that there is absolutely no injury. Basically, they do it to safeguard their own domestic industry. And they claimed that we were injuring their own home industry, which is the graphite plants in Europe. So obviously, when everybody was earning a profit of 60, 70% EBITDA and things like that, so obviously you can't sustain, you can't say that somebody is being injured. I mean, so you cannot make 50% profit and still say, I'm being injured. So they seem to have accepted our plea, and it is just a reopening of the case. In the normal course, it would have gone on for the next 3, 4 years. But on our request, they've opened up the case for a review, which means that it will take another 6 to 9 months for them to get satisfied based on all the data that we will provide, and they will have to cross-check these data from the domestic industry in Europe, and then take a view whether to accept our request or not to accept our request.
Okay, so you're suggesting it will still take 6 to 9 months, Mr. Jhunjunwala?
Yeah, that's a normal 6 to 9 month period for review.
Okay. Can you tell us the plea is to do away with all the duties or to reduce it?
No, it has been stagnant at 7%. They've not changed it upwards or downwards.
You said Indian makers like yours, you've requested EU to look at this. So the request is to do away with the entire duty structure?
So there's nothing like entire duty structure. I mean, at whatever price we have been exporting to Europe, we are paying a 7% anti-dumping duty. Okay. So obviously in a competitive market, that 7% goes out of our own pocket.
How much of the revenue, how much are you exporting to Europe right now?
I would not like to divulge the exact figure, but Europe accounts for about 15% of our total exports.
Oh, okay. So you said 1.5, right? 15%.
But we did not give up the market because we took a long-term view when these duties were imposed. So we decided to fight it out. We decided to continue our export and not lose our market share. So obviously we have been paying the 7% from our own pocket for the last 15, 16 years.
So you said 15%, right?
Yeah, about 15%.
Okay.
Right.
Just one small follow-up. I mean, the other issues that the European region might be facing is the immediacy of supply unavailable, and therefore, is there an outside chance that while the normal process for reviewing these duties is 6 to 9 months, there might be some expedition of the same?
Some expedition of what?
Of the duties or the anti-dumping duty being removed. I heard you mention that it will take about 6 to 9 months, if I'm not wrong, for the normal process for these duties to be removed. Can it be expedited? Can that happen quicker?
That is up to them. And basically, what I'm telling you is a normal process. I mean, it normally takes between 6 to 9 months. It could be 3 months faster if they liked. It could be 3 months more if they want to go slow. Because you see, it's obvious. I mean, every country wants to restrict imports. Every country wants to to save their own industry. So it's their whims and fancies. I mean, it could take anywhere between, let's say, 6 to 12 months.
Okay. What about business until then, sir? How is, I'm guessing things have turned a bit compared to what it was in 2018, early part of 2019, but current capacity utilization levels or pressures on business, can you tell a bit about that? Because we haven't spoken for a while.
You see, what happened in 2017 and 18 was too good to last for a very long time. I mean, obviously, companies making a 50, 55, 60, 65% margins, these are not normal levels. So things had to stabilize. And so this is what has happened. And if you have been talking to us, you have been tracking the American and the Japanese companies. Everybody is of the opinion when the electrode prices are jumping like 15-20% every month for, let's say, 16 to 20 months. So there was a sort of a panic in the market, and everybody was buying much more electrodes than what he actually needed. It was not just a question of 20-30% increase in price every month or every 2 months, but the question was whether he will get enough electrodes at all. So in that backdrop, everybody has bought much more electrode than he ever needed. So each one of us is saying the same thing, that this destocking is currently taking place, which is resulting into lower purchase. And somebody's opinion is 6 months, somebody is saying 12 months. But basically nothing has changed. Basically the electric arc furnace production has not gone down so much so as to warrant the kind of price drop that we are seeing. The electric arc furnace production has gone down by just about 2.5%. So just a drop of 2.5% should not normally mean such a large drop in the electrode pricing. So basically it is the destocking. People are not interested to buy more electrodes than what they need anymore. So maybe another 6 months, maybe another 9 months. But basic structure of the industry hasn't seen any change. I mean, there has been no new capacities in the electrode business to justify the kind of drop in prices that one has seen.